Listen, they're taking all this stuff, all of this evidence, all of these interviews that people have been picking apart, all the stuff that's gone on down at the school. I've covered many things. Many people have. A lot of my videos are down now. I might put them up on a different, somewhere else so people can see them. But you, the listener of my channel, you listen to these the first day. Usually most of my views are in the first 24 hours, so most of you have seen it, okay? There is a lot of stuff, piles of stuff regarding this event, piles of it. And none of it has to do with Donald Trump or the left or right. So they're taking what a lot of us have shown, and now they're trying to spin this to a left-right narrative. The left and right, as you know, is not real. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. They're trying to label conspiracy theorists as Donald Trump supporters. They're trying to wing us all together, okay? There's the alt-right, which are plant bought and paid for people. That includes people like Mike Cernovich, these people who go on InfoWars, David Seaman, these frauds who pretend like they're restricted and they could say whatever they want in their channels. They can call the YouTube, CEO, all sorts of derogatory names. They can call everybody a pedophile. They don't get a single strike on their channel. Okay, they're all playing roles on YouTube. That's what they're here for. And they're here to keep you trapped in a left-right. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has everything to do with the Second Amendment, and it has everything to do with the First Amendment. That's what this is about. It's also about mental health. It's about the fact that they want to be able to go after people such as myself or anyone they think might be a crazy shooter because they have some type of, they question the news, so they're labeled crazy, and they want to be able to just grab people like us out of our homes and throw us in a FEMA camp or throw us in a center somewhere so they can drug us up and say, well, this person needs mental health. Okay, they're trying to strip rights from people. So the article goes on to say, to be clear, conspiracy theorists have always existed. We didn't actually land on the moon, apparently. The terror attacks of September 11th were an inside job, and the murders of children at Sandy Hook Elementary School didn't actually happen. Well, those things are all pretty. This is the first time CNN's ever reported something. How about that? Now, I know they mean it in a sarcastic way, but that might be the most real paragraph ever written by the mainstream media. I'll read it again. To be clear, conspiracy theories have always existed. We didn't land on the moon. September 11th was an inside job, and the murders of children at Sandy Hook Elementary School didn't actually happen, according to CNN. And the arrival of the internet has allowed these conspiracy theorists to connect with one another, providing an infinite feedback loop of affirmation for their zaniness. Yeah, or zaniness. Looks like somebody's scared. Oh, is the mainstream media scared? Are the Zionists scared? What's going on out there, huh? You can't get better actors for these small parts? Can't do a better job of putting it together? You got people out there who are debunking everything you throw at us? Don't take Sherlock Holmes to figure out that these things aren't real. I mean, you can't even show us victims. You can't even show us actual actors, real actors. You can't even put on the scene. Boy, you guys are frightened out there. It says, remember that the genesis of Trump's political... Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. It says, but there's another factor that has poured fuel on the fire of conspiracy theories, like the ones coming out of Florida this week, the election of Trump. Remember that the genesis of Trump's political relevance can be directly traced to a conspiracy theory, the disproven idea relentlessly promoted by Trump earlier this decade that Barack Obama was not born in the U.S. Trump's flogging of that fallacy earned him credibility within subsegments of the conservative movement ready to believe the absolute worst about Obama and support anyone willing to say it. Trump's 2016 presidential candidacy was full of conspiracy theories, such as Muslims were celebrating on New Jersey rooftops on September 11th. Former Clinton aide Vince Foster didn't actually commit suicide. Ted Cruz's father may have been involved in an assassination of JFK. The late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia died under suspicious circumstances. The infamous Access Hollywood tape might be fake. Several million votes were cast illegally, costing Trump a popular vote victory. You get the idea. Trump is someone who has taken conspiracy theories from the fringe to the center of the national conversation. He has mainstreamed not only specific conspiracies, but also conspiratorial thinking. Okay, this is what they want. This is how they're spinning their narrative now. They're once again caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and they're taking the narrative and they're attaching it to Trump to keep everyone in the left-right box, to get the liberals riled up against the right, and the right riled up against the left. And this is not what this is about, okay? There shouldn't be anybody who's looking to be in the left or the right. This should be us against them. This should be all of us getting together, banding together, realizing that we have a secret government, a shadow government, controlling all of the events that occur around the world, including the wars. They stage the wars. They fund the wars. Kill all these innocent troops who are gullible enough to go sign up and think that they're fighting in a war over there for something when they're not fighting for anything. They're sacrifices. Remember, they always say they sacrifice their lives for their country. Keyword being sacrifice. And that's what they're all about. It said if liberals could find a way to cast millions of illegal votes, after all, why couldn't they also find a way to exploit the engineer reaction to a school shooting? This is the broader and less covered impact of Trump's fundamental reimagining of what a president can and should mean to our country and the world. Whether or not Trump agrees with any conspiracy theory about Parkland around the internet and conservative talk radio, he has enabled them by his past words and actions to get a far broader hearing than they deserve, and that's a damn shame. And that's the end of the article. Now, keep in mind here, they're going to now take this, and this is what drove me nuts about the Pizzagate thing, because there was enough stuff that people dug up on Ali Fontes to say, listen, there needs to be an investigation against Ali Fontes, okay? The narrative shouldn't have solely been on, let's arrest John Podesta and let's arrest Hillary Clinton, okay? It was bigger. It could have been bigger and deeper than that, but there was a lot of things there. They took that narrative or that story and they created an event out of it, right? And then everybody out there, quote unquote truther channels, came out and said, look, it was fake from the get-go. They did it so that they could create this and censor us. Okay, well, watch what happens now with this event, because so many people have called it out, shown the crisis actors, put videos together with crisis actor after crisis actor, and shown pretty much, what this event really was and what it was all about. And now there's going to be backlash on this, and more free speech is going to be taken away. So are you going to say all of a sudden that this event was real and they put it there so that we would take the bait and they could censor us more on YouTube? I mean, so many of these things, they're getting caught, right? What happened with Las Vegas? How quick did that get dropped? How fast did Las Vegas get dropped? It's supposed to be the biggest massacre on U.S. soil, right? Shooting massacre, whatever they were calling it at the time. So many people came out with so much evidence. The next thing you knew, the story was dropped, and the main thing being discussed in the media was Harvey Weinstein and Time's Up. And no one's talked about it since, right? So don't be surprised if something else comes up to distract people from this, whether it's another school, whether it's something. You know why? Because they're getting caught red-handed. They're doing sloppy work. And there's people like us who can see this, decipher it, and tell people about it. Now the question is, where does it go from here, right? We know that they want to continue to take away free speech. Are they going to be able to delete more YouTube channels? I mean, what are they going to do? We don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. As long as I have a tongue and a voice, I'm going to speak. So they could take, the worst thing in my opinion they could do to someone like me is continue to take my channels down. Because I'll go to the streets and start, right? And people will listen and people will follow. So they better their best interest is to just leave people be. And the fact that they're bringing attention to this and it's on the main page of CNN shows you that they feel the need to deflect. Otherwise, you wouldn't address it, right? Would you address, fake allegations against you that are so absurd? Why would you even bother addressing it unless you just wanted to, joke about it and say, how ridiculous is this? But CNN, we're not talking about me or you. We're talking about CNN coming out, even using the term crisis actors, because they're nervous and they're trying to deflect. They want to make sure as many people out there that read CNN as possible can see that, oh, there's all these crazy people making stuff up. Don't look at their videos. Don't listen to what they have to say. Don't look at the bizarre pile of evidence. Just listen to us. These people are cruel. They're cruel because there's people who are hurt and they shouldn't have a right to investigate anything. They should just go with what we tell them. I don't think so, CNN. The hourglass is getting shorter. People are waking up. I thank you all for listening to today's show. If you're a channel out there, please be careful with how long you leave your content up regarding this event. I know you want to it takes a long time to make videos. It could take, 6, 8, 10 hours to do a video, and you don't want to just put it up for 12 hours. But, you guys, the listeners, try to watch these videos when they're up as quickly as you can.